Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm your host, Raylene Marks, and let's take a look at today's top story. Now, yesterday we spoke about a story that is really outraging people around the world, and it's the story of the rape of a 7-year-old Israeli girl. And it was announced yesterday that police had indicted 46-year-old Mahmoud Cusack from the West Bank, and he is suspected of raping the 7-year-old little girl, who it has come to light she was from the town of Modi-in-Ilit. Now, the police announced today that they were opening further investigations, and in a joint statement by both the police and the military, they said there was additional information that had come to light, as well as information on other individuals. And an unnamed police enforcement officer said that there is a possibility that they will involve the Shin Bet. Now, it is a very, very complicated case, and we hope that they are extremely thorough in their investigation, because an Israeli resident of Modi-in-Ilit, who has known Cusack for many years, has said that it is possible that it wasn't in fact him, even though the police say that he has possibly been involved in other cases. What these other cases are, we don't know. This information is not public, but this is where we are sitting at the moment. There are also a few disparities in the identifying of Cusack and exactly how the little girl was kidnapped, and this is according to testimony from the victim herself. So we will be watching this case quite closely. We will be bringing you updates as they happen, but it is a very, very complicated and a very, very sensitive case. Now, turning our attention more further afield to the United States, and yet another Hollywood star has stuck his giant foot, or in this case, a hand in it. And actor John Cusack yesterday tweeted out a picture of a hand with a Magen David, a Jewish Star of David, on it, with the words, to learn who rules over you, you simply find out who you are not allowed to criticize. Now, in his tweet, he had attributed the quote to Voltaire. Apparently, the quote is not actually from Voltaire, it's from a neo-Nazi. But what makes this even worse, as if you possibly could, is that he put on the top of his tweet, "Follow the money." Well, oh, John, what do we say to that? No sooner had he tweeted this out when a lot of people around the world, including myself, expressed our outrage and said to him that this is a profoundly anti-Semitic, the imagery that he's trying to justify by saying, well, what he thought he was supporting Palestinians, and that the image was of Israel, or symbols of Israel. Oh, John, again, have you not learned? I don't know. Have you not read like Anti-Semitism for Dummies, or read what has happened recently at the DC Dyke March? You can criticize Israel or Israeli policies. There's nothing anti-Semitic about that. But when you use anti-Semitic tropes and conspiracy theorists and anti-Semitic language like "follow the money," we are having a whole different discussion here. There's nothing unambiguous about what you tweeted, John. It was anti-Semitic. Now, while he did offer a half-baked apology, he hasn't addressed issues like "follow the money." And my personal opinion is, if he wants to make a really meaningful apology, he needs to do something like visit a place like Auschwitz or Dachau. He needs to learn, he needs to understand how imagery and how powerful words lead to gross examples of persecution. And also he needs to answer the question, if you are pro-Palestinian, why is it necessary to be anti-Israel, in this case anti-Semitic? Food for thought. and maybe we'll write an article about it for Lay of the Land. Who knows? But he needs to do that. And he also, I would recommend him visit the region, speak to people from all walks of life and from both sides of the conflict to gain a better understanding, because tweeting your opinion without any nuance and without any context is just going to get you into a whole lot of trouble. And another one who's gotten into a whole lot of trouble is AOC, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. She's one of the new congresswomen from the Democratic Party, and she got herself into a whole lot of trouble by comparing the detention camps on the border between Mexico and the United States with concentration camps. Now, while nobody wants to see people held in detention camps, you cannot compare them to concentration camps and extermination camps, AOC. There is just no comparison. The people in concentration camps were starved, they were worked to death. The people in death camps were systematically put to death. You cannot compare the situation. You owe Jews everywhere a huge apology, and don't even think that you can compare by saying, well, you don't want to, throw out comparisons to Jewish history. You cannot compare. While we would all hope to see people, not having to be held anywhere, you cannot compare people who are receiving medical care, people who are receiving food, albeit in an environment that we may not agree with or like. Do not compare. Maybe you should join John on a visit to Auschwitz or to Dachau to get a better understanding. So quite a Rand-filled Israel brief today, and if you want to follow more Rand-filled briefings, you can check out our content online at www.layoftheland.online. Don't forget you can submit your questions to us either via Facebook or via our website. And also, don't forget that you can like us or follow us on Facebook. And if you like your daily edition of the Israel Brief, Monday to Thursday, hot off the press, click on the subscribe button below. I'm Rolene Marks for the Israel Brief, and we'll chat again tomorrow.